Welcome back! Okay, so we're going to take what we did yesterday and we're going to build upon it. And now we're going to solve systems of equations and word problems. Yay! Okay, but I think you will like these better because they are in slope-intercept form. So you don't have to get y by itself or anything like that I know you all loved so much last week. Okay, this is very straightforward. The hardest thing is just going to be equations. Yesterday we did word problems that gave us one equation. Okay, today we're going to do word problems that give us two equations. So this time we're going to have two slopes and two initial values. Okay, so let's read. Okay, so I'm going to use two colors, green for my rate and then orange for my initial value. So today the temperature in New York is 1 degree. Okay, is that my slope or is that my initial value? Initial value. Okay, and expected to rise 3 degrees per day. Per is a key word. Okay, and it's rising, so I'm going to have a positive slope. It's 6 degrees in Alaska. Okay, so we're talking about two states. We're talking about Alaska and we're talking about New York. So what is my initial value in Alaska? 6 degrees. And expected to fall 1 degree every 2 days. Okay, and that's going to be my slope. It's going to fall. So if it's falling, what direction is it going in? Negative. So I'm going to write a note and I'm going to put negative slope. Okay. But you might be looking at this and be like, oh, what's my slope? Okay, so anytime you have something 1 degree every 2 days, okay, this is saying 1 over 2. Okay, so 1 degree every 2 days. Previously we've done ones that just says 1 degree every day, okay, or 5 degrees every day. Okay, if that was the case, then there would just be 1, so we didn't really write that in a fraction. Okay, however, this says 1 degree every 2 days. So since it doesn't just say days, it says 2 days, we have to put a 2 in the denominator. Okay, hope that makes sense. And it's going to be negative because it's fallen. So after how many days will the temperature be the same in both cities? So a good key word when we're solving for our systems, because on the EOG, they're going to put all these word problems together, and you're going to have to be able to say, oh, they want me to find the intersection. Oh, we're talking about systems. Oh, we're not. We're just talking about one equation. Okay, so a big key word is the same. Anytime you're trying to find the same in something, okay, you're finding if you have two lines, what point do they share? Okay, and that point is going to be when they are the same. Okay, we're going to do more of these, so don't worry. So now we're going to write my equations. So step 1, we're going to write equations, which are my favorite. So in New York, what is my m? We just said it. M equals negative 1. M equals 3. Okay, and then my b equals what? Negative 1. Okay, and so notice why this is not over a fraction is because it is 3 degrees per day. So we're just talking about 1 day. So if we're talking about 1 day, I can put it over 1. But if we simplify that, 3 divided by 1, it's just going to give me 3 anyway. So we just leave it as a fraction. Okay. Over here, it's every 2 days, so this time we actually have to put a 2 in the denominator. Okay. And so now I'm going to do my equation. Remember, the equation to a line is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I'm going to write out my equation, plugging my slope in and my y-intercept in. So y equals 3x minus 1, which is my b. Okay. So let's move on to Alaska. So in Alaska, what is my slope? -1/2 this time. And my B is 6 degrees. Okay, so again, plug in my values where they belong. +6. So now I have my two equations. Okay. So I have step 1. Step 2. You're going to use a graphing calculator. Well, I'm going to make you use Desmos. So use Desmos. Desmos is free and it's online to find the intersection of the two equations of y equals 3x minus 1 and y equals -1 over 2 x plus 6. Okay? And the reason why we're going to find the intersection is because they want to know after how many days. Okay? So, x represents what? So I'm going to look at my slope. Okay? Rise 3 degrees per day. So x is days. Okay? And y's are your degrees, the temperature. Okay? So they want us to know how many days. So we're going to find the x value. Okay? So I'm going to use Desmos. I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to find out where they intersect at. Okay? And I'm going to write that coordinate point down. And when I write that coordinate point down, it should be 2, 5. Okay? But that's not my answer, because they want to know how many days. Okay? We know that x is days. 5 is degrees. So how many days will they be the same? Okay, they're going to be the same after 2 days. So 2 days and they will be the same. Have the same temperature. Okay, so anytime we're trying to find when something's going to be the same in both cities or both situations, we're finding that intersection. Okay, and then we have to say, hey, do they want my x value or do they want my y value? Okay, because they're not asking for the coordinate pair. Okay, they want you to apply it. So it's 2 days. Okay, they could have easily said, okay, how many days, well, how many degrees would it have to be? They could have easily just flip-flopped it and you would have to put 5 degrees down, okay? So just pay really close attention to what they're asking you. Yep, so let's do the next one. So suppose you have $20 in your bank account. Okay. So I have $20 in my bank account. Okay, that sounds like it's my initial value. You start saving $5 each week. Okay, each is a keyword for rate. Your friend, okay, so this time we're looking at 2 different ones. Okay, we're looking at you, and then we're looking at your friend. Your friend has $5 each week. Okay, that is a misstep. Your friend has $5 in his account. Okay, so that is that my initial value or is that my slope? Okay, that is my initial value. And he starts saving $10 each week. After how many weeks will you and your friend have the same amount of money in your accounts? Okay, so a keyword is same, and they want us to know how many weeks. Okay, so let's write what we know. So you, okay, your slope is going to be $5, and your initial value is going to be $20. So if I write my equation, I have y equals 5x plus 20. Okay. Your friend, okay, your slope we just said was $10 each week, but he started off only having $5 in his account. So we're going to write my equation. I have y equals 10x plus b plus 5. Okay, and there's a little bit more information that we need. We need to know what x stands for, and we need to know what y stands for. So remember, what I always say is look for your slope and look what it's comparing. So $5 each week, so we know x is weeks. Okay, and y is the amount. Okay. So this is step 1. Step 2, you're going to graph both equations in Desmos and find where they intersect, because we're trying to find the same amount. Okay, we want to know that what point do they share. Okay. So once you go into Desmos and you graph these two lines, remember in Desmos you need to put y equals that. Press enter and do y equals 10x plus 5. You might need to zoom out, okay, find where they intersect at, and when you find that intersection, that point should be 335. But am I done? No, okay, they did not ask for my coordinate pair. They did not ask where do they intersect. Okay, they want to know how many weeks. Okay, so we're trying to find what? The x or y. We're trying to find the x. Will you and your friend have the same amount? Okay, so after 3 weeks. Okay, so that's my answer. After 3 weeks, both accounts will have the same amount. And they could easily ask you how much will they have when they have the same amount. Okay, and you would say $35. But they just want to know how many weeks, and it's been 3 weeks. Okay. So I want you to do these two, just do this one practice problem. Go ahead, pause the video, and when you get done, hit play, and I will go over the answers with you. Okay, welcome back. So to produce a product, it costs Acme Corporation $50,000. So is that going to be orange, or is that going to be my rate? Initial value or rate? Initial value. Plus $20 per product. Per is a keyword, so this is going to be my slope. If Acme sells each item $25 each, okay, how many must Acme sell to break even? Okay, so this one might trip you up a little bit, okay, but $25 each. Okay, we're talking about items. If I go up here, we said my slope was $20 per product. We're still talking about products, but this time they changed it to $25 each. Okay, so this time we don't have an initial value for the second equation. Okay, so a lot of times companies will use this math. Believe it or not, you actually use it. Okay, And they're saying, okay, right now we have this amount of money, we're charging $20 per product. What happens if we increase the amount of money for the product, okay? So, to break even, okay, that means, okay, break even is when a company first starts out. Okay, they have to take all these loans out, okay, and they're just in debt, okay? But they have a break-even point, and when they pass the break-even point, they're actually making money, okay? So, again, it's where that intersect, okay? It's that point they share. So, once they pass that certain point, okay, they're going to start benefiting from it. And anytime you see break-even, that's another keyword that you want to find the intersection, okay? That you're trying to find. You're dealing with systems here. Okay, so let's write my equations out. So to produce a product, it costs them $50,000 plus $20 per product. So what is my slope? 20. Okay, and what is my initial value? 50,000. Okay. So let's put that in my equation. So I have y equals 20x plus 50,000. Okay, so my equation 2, $25 each. So if, okay, this is like a scenario. This is scenario 1, scenario 2. So if they just have it selling at $25 each, when will they break even? Okay. So this time I have $25 X. Okay, I don't have a right intercept because they want to see when they're going to break even. So now I have these two equations. Okay, I need to know what X means. And I need to know what my Y stands for. So again, look at the slope, $20 per product. So X is going to be products. And Y is going to be my cost. Okay, so now I'm going to graph these two equations using Desmos. Find where they intersect at. Okay, and they intersect at, and this one you would have to zoom out a whole lot. Okay. So they want to know how many atoms. Okay, to break even. So we're talking about the number of products. So we're talking about X values. So Acme must sell 10,000, since we're talking about my X, products to break even. Okay. For that one. So that's tap 1. Tap 2, when you have something like this, okay? Okay, so these are a little bit different just because of the way they are worded. Okay, so let's look at these. So to install a swimming pool, Company A charges $1,000 per day plus $75 an hour. So we're talking about my initial value. So before they even start working, okay, how much are they going to charge? $1,000. Okay. So again, why this is tricky is because of this per. Remember how I said per is not always a key word. Okay, you really have to look at the context of the situation. Okay, so that $1,000 is going to be my initial value. Okay, nothing else matters. Okay, if they work 1 hour, okay, they still gonna have to pay $1,000 to start off with. Okay, plus $75 an hour. Now this is my rate, okay, because it's not set in stone. It could take them 2 hours, it could take them 15 hours, okay. So it starts off, they have to pay $1,000, and then however long it takes, you're going to have to pay them an additional $75 an hour, okay. So that's going to be my rate. Okay, that is the only thing that makes these different. Okay, you really gotta just read the context of what it's saying. So company B charges $15,000 per day plus $50 per an hour. So again, same situation. Okay, you have to start off paying this much money, and then your rate is going to be $50 per an hour. After how many hours will the cost be the same? Okay, same, and we're talking about two different things. So we know we're going to be dealing with systems of equations. So I'm going to have company A, company B. Okay, so I'm going to write in slope-intercept form, and I'm not going to write out every single step because I did that before. So now we're just going to plug in. So I have y equals, what is my slope for company A? $75. Okay, and what's my initial value for company A? 1,000. Okay, let's go to company B. What is my slope for company B? 50x. But what's my initial value? 1,500. Okay. So again, identify what x and y stand for. Okay, I'm going to go to my slope, $75 an hour, so x is hours, and y is going to be money. Okay, so I'm going to graph using Desmos, find that intersection. Okay, and the point where they intersect is 20, and then 2,500. Okay, and I'm going to go back to see what they want me to find, and they want me to find what would the cost be. Okay, so we're talking about cost, so we're talking about x or y. We're talking about my y value. Okay, so the cost would be 2,500. Excuse me. Okay, I read it wrong. It says after how many hours, so this we're trying to find x. Your hours. I do apologize. So, after 20 hours, the cost will be the same. Okay. So that's the answer for this one. So let's do this next one together. A car rental company charges $34 per day for a rented car and 50 cents for every mile driven. Okay, so what is your initial value? Okay, what do you have to start off paying no matter how many miles you've driven? $30, $34 per day. Okay, so this is going to be my initial value. And 50 cents for every mile driven. So what is my rate? 50 cents a mile. Okay. A second car rental company charges $20 per day. So is that my slope or my y-intercept? My initial value, my y-intercept. And 75 cents for every mile driven. So is that my slope or what? Okay, what is the number of miles? Okay, what is the number of miles at which both companies charge the same? Okay, so we know we're dealing with systems amount for a 1 day renter. Okay, so we're gonna do my lovely equation. So I have my car renter, the first one, company. Okay, again, y equals mx plus b. So what is my slope for company, the first company? 50 cents. Okay, and what's my initial value for the car rental company, the first one? $34. Okay. Then the second company, what is my slope for the second company? 75 cents. And what's my initial value? $20. Okay. What does X stand for? So let's look at my slope. 50 cents for every mile. So X is miles. Y is money. Okay. So we done step 1. Step 2 is graph using Desmos to find intersection. Okay, and when you graph it on Desmos, you're going to get 56, 62. Again, you might have to zoom out to get it. Okay, and again, they want me to know what's the number of miles. So we're going to look at my X. So this value. So at 56 miles, both companies were charged the same. So go ahead and pause the video and then do this practice problem. When you're done, come back here, okay, and we will go over the answers. Welcome back. So to install a swimming pool, okay, and I did it again. I gave you the same word problem. Okay, to find the answer to this, just go up to example 3. Okay, that is all. Okay, you only have 6 problems today. I've given you an example of each kind of problem that you might see on this practice problems. Okay, I recommend that you stop doing it on a piece of paper, taking a picture of it, and then attaching that picture to the assignment. Okay, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Desmos, okay, you might have to really zoom out to be able to see where they intersect, but I promise you each one of these problems, they are going to intersect. One point. Use Desmos, it'll make your life easier. Okay, and again, I will post the video I posted last week on how to use it. Y'all have a good day.